might of Dementus!
Dementus falls into the pattern of the Romans, Genghis Khan, Hannibal, the people who maraud across a great vast land.
He is here to lay siege on you!
There was a sort of messiah quality to who he was. And he decides that, okay, this is the next step for me to take over and rule the Wasteland.
Bring me your leaders! Burn them down and save yourselves!
He has to have all the hallmarks of charismatic leaders. He needs to be unpredictable. He needs to be accessible and mysterious at the same time.
3, 4, 5, what do we do?
There's a flamboyant sort of nature to this guy, certainly, which was fun, but the slippery slope with playing a villain is just to think of them as villainous. We had many, many discussions, months of discussions prior to shooting, about who this guy once was.
Now, the first half of this sequence is storyboarded. From the very first meeting, I asked Chris how he thought people perceived him. What was his public persona?
This is somewhat of a performance for her in the sense of, look how...
And I was surprised by how acute his observations were.
Do you whistle? I can whistle. Yeah?
Before I knew it, George was suddenly twigged on to, not Chris, the sort of Thor actor, but Chris, the guy that was behind the image that is Chris.
See you guys.
Bye.
We talked about charisma. And he said, you need humour to be charismatic.
You're nice.
You're nice. You're
No, you are nice.
You're nice.
These charismatic leaders, they're very engaging. They have a sense of humour. They have a playfulness that can draw you in.
Action! Idiots!
Initially, I was going in another direction, but once I met Chris, I thought, he's the one who should take on Dementus. Page 2, I'm just changing some of the lines here.
Unlike anything I've done before. For a long time, I had no idea who he was. I got quite nervous in the lead up 2 weeks before we started shooting. Still hadn't found the voice.
Oh, see, I crave nothing but revenge, a big belly full of revenge. That's your problem.
I wanted to make sure that when the audience met the character, they didn't carry too much of the public Chris there.
Every time I tried to sort of read the lines, I thought, this guy just sounds like me. I wanted there to be something abrasive about him, something that was piercing and belligerent and obnoxious.
What's everyone's fault?
I was sitting in the park one day with my kids watching seagulls like fight over chips and bread and stuff that the kids had thrown. They were just, they're kind of... Something about that kind of sat in my head.
Action.
It was quite a strain in my throat. I can't put it up in there all the time.
Okay's not the word, we've got to be...
All right.
You all right? Yeah, there you go.
Especially in the louder scenes when I'm yelling or having to project.
There's no way to behave. I want what you want.
It just felt like someone that was wound up tight and tense.
Right. You lost your touch.
There were a lot of crew members on Furiosa who had worked with Chris on a couple of the Thor movies who said that they've never seen him so focused ever.
Idiot. Yeah. In fact, you're all idiots.
He wouldn't go back to his trailer. He was always interacting with his biker gang. Chris knew he has to have the trauma that everyone else has.
Go!
Oh my God.
George is such a family guy, so he was like, everybody who comes here and can have an opportunity to do something.
I didn't ask her to wear it home. I was quite happy for it to be taken off at the end of the day. Dementus, he has a tendency to public displays of violence.
It's all part of the pageantry of the tyrant. No one becomes a demagogue or a tyrant unless they have that pageantry.
I remember researching gurus, people like Michael Jackson, Gaddafi-type people. They all seemed to be in the realm of what this character was. And then with cult leaders, I think you'll find Weiss is really one of the things they were.
We had Dementus wearing a cape made of a parachute. It gave him some sense of majesty, and it was also very practical. They're light, they can insulate you.